Galaxy S25s have been announced now, and out of the three, shame, because I feel that this one is actually the best bang for your buck when you consider the price and the additional specs this phone offers over the regular S25, because it's not just a bigger phone, there's a few more elements to it for sure. In fact, it was a similar story last year with the S24s, and this year with the new S25s, Samsung kept a lot of the same differences that sets the S25 Plus apart by video, but the regular S25 is just such a small phone by today's standards. It sounds weird, but it's literally the smallest phone Samsung offers in their entire lineup, including all the A-series phones and everything else you could think of. The S25 Plus, even though it's technically a plus-size phone or a bigger phone, whatever you want to call it, it's actually just the same size as basically every other Samsung or Android device on the market. S25 Plus, by the way, comes in the same set of colors as the regular S25 this year, so that's all the same. And I wish Samsung went back to some more vibrant finishes, but this is what we have this year. There's icy blue, which is kind of a blue metallic. There's a mint green, my personal favorite of them all. There's navy blue, which is definitely the most colorful, I guess you could say. And then there's silver shadow, which obviously is a few $100s towards the S25 or the Plus or the Ultra. And there's some additional pre-order perks as well. So take advantage of that if you are interested. Now, the first perk or sort of extra you get with the S25 Plus is a higher resolution screen. So not only is the screen itself bigger, but you get more pixels. It's a Quad HD 3120 by 1440 resolution screen. You do have to enable that option in display settings, but when you do, you get a really high resolution display that's super. Their Samsung phone that has this resolution screen is the Ultra, so you're saving a ton of money getting a QHD screen here. Of course, whether or not this is a must-have is sort of up to you. The display, in my opinion, is the essence of the smartphone. It's what you're looking at 24/7. So I think a lot of people would want the best display possible for the money, but I can also understand if QHD isn't a necessity, if you can't really tell a difference. Some people, though, want all the best. With price, Samsung kept the same prices for the S25s this year, so that's great. There was no price increase like it was rumored. The regular S25 starts at $799, the S25 Plus is $999, and the Ultra jumps all the way up to $1299, which honestly is a lot of money for a smartphone. I totally get that. I think the S25 Plus at $999, while it is $1,000, is maybe more within that sweet spot. It's a flagship price, but it's not too crazy. And what's also important to note is you do get more storage on the S25 Plus again this year compared to the regular S25. The regular S25 has 128 gigabytes of storage for its base price. The S25 Plus doubles that to 256 gigabytes. Now, I'm not saying paying an extra $200 just is one less perk in going with the Plus, so maybe not as enticing compared to the S24 Plus last year if you really care about specs and performance. But hey, if you're opting for the regular or base level S25, that extra RAM actually is a nice add-on for once. Also, the new processor inside this phone is the same as the regular S25. It's all in on Galaxy AI, even more than they already were on last year's phones. So jumping back to the perks of the S25 Plus, I feel like not a lot of people talk about this, but you do actually get faster charging and a bigger battery with this phone. The S25 Plus supports 45-watt wired charging. The regular S25 tops out at 25 watts. So you can get this phone juiced up from 0 to 65% in 30 minutes. It's been a few years since Samsung really talked about charging speeds, but I think less time, 900 milliamp battery versus a 4000 milliamp battery in the regular S25. And Samsung says that battery runs the test ourselves, but I think just having that extra bit of battery with the S25 Plus is a bit of a perk. I know it's not a crazy big difference, but a lot of people feel that the 4000 milliamp battery inside the regular S25 is kind of small by today's standards, and the S25 Plus has a battery size that's more in line. Back, you get the same 50 megapixel, more camera features and better specs. And they did that once again with the S25 Ultra this year. But this S25 Plus and the regular S25 have the exact same cameras again this year. And that's not to say that they aren't improved though. Samsung added a new feature called Audio Eraser, where you can remove different kinds of background noises from your videos, which is super helpful. And they said they've greatly improved low light and nighttime shooting, recording, particularly with video, so I'm definitely interested in trying that out. Of course, the new processor might also be able to help improve pictures and videos. Again, that's something we'll have to try out here soon. But yeah, the main thing here is that when you put everything together, there are some decent advantages in going with the S25 Plus over the regular. Yeah, it's a bigger phone, obviously, but the higher resolution screen is a decent perk, in my opinion. That's an S25 Ultra feature that you don't have to pay all that extra money for. You get twice the storage, which I think has some value too, especially since 128 gigabytes on the regular S25 is so low. You get a bigger battery, which might afford you some extra screen on time, but more importantly, you get faster charging speeds. When you compare price to price, spec for an extra $200, I is later.